My name is Angela Vives, and I am the illustrator of Bright Stars of Black British History, written by J.T. Williams and published by Thames and Hudson in 2023. Bright Stars of Black British History is a non-fiction children's picture book of the life stories of 14 Black British very special people. The book spans from Tudor England to modern Britain, and the book idea originated while I was studying for my master's degree in children's book illustration. At the time, I was exploring the power of non-fiction in children's literature, particularly picture book biographies. And it was during this period that J.T. Williams introduced me to the amazing life of Ignacio Sancho. I was enthralled by his remarkable journey and the incredible fact that little Sancho was baptized and sold in the same country where I was born. As we navigated through a global pandemic and the stages of acquisition for publication, I began experimenting with charcoal and ink and practiced creating the portraits of the 14 personalities. I greatly enjoy studying and researching African and the colony's history, especially textiles design. And whenever possible, I visited many of the settings in London featured in the book, as well as museums and art galleries. For example, the rendering of London by Canaletto and the paintings that were acquired by the Dulwich Picture Gallery, or Howard's commentary on the 18th century society, which I had the pleasure to visit at Tate Britain. Part of this research involved looking for memories of growing up near the sea. I was born on the Caribbean coast of Colombia, and I wanted to bring that feeling of gazing at the sea, or playing in the sun with my siblings, or climbing a mango tree. Also the sense of a long journey and how a new place feels. Sometimes there were no references at all, like in the case of Mary Prince. We don't know how she looked like. Or in some cases, just one single image, like in the case of John Blanc. The primary goal for me as an illustrator was to create a place for them, a never seen on the page before, a visual narrative that positioned them at the forefront of their own stories. So that's why I created a frame, both literally to enclose the subject and metaphorically to draw attention to them. To reinforce this idea, I also added the borders, allowing me to incorporate decorative elements and high symbols within them. For example, I included the Adinka symbol of persistence on Olauda's chapter, as well as the scarlet ibis, which is a symbol of adaptability and appears on the coat of arms of Trinidad and Tobago, Claudia Jones' place of birth. Creating the borders also allowed me to choose a color palette for each of the personalities. I found myself immersed in the pleasure of creating and crafting all these decorative elements and studying architecture, interior design, costume, which contributed to the overall aesthetic and historic authenticity of this project. I also added some personal touches, like painting my mom on Harold's Moody chapter. She was a bacteriologist. And also I added J.T. Williams' mum, who came from Sierra Leone to become a nurse for the NHS, as well as my cat Paddy. In terms of my technique, I'm very consciously working to maintain a distinctive human touch in my drawings with visual brushstrokes and using pigments and gouache painting. I print out 2 or 3 copies of my approved sketches and paint them at the same time. And this kind of helped me to trick my brain to think that I'm not working on a final, but just painting. Then I scan the final drawing to Photoshop and do the final touches. It took me a year and a half to finish the project. I'm still pinching myself, and I'm immensely grateful that Thames and Hudson trusted me with this project. As my first book, it was a daunting task and a huge responsibility to create a work that reflects our times, but also that has the potential to become timeless. I have been following the Klaus Fugger Prize for many years, and many of the shortlisted and winners are my favorite illustrators. So I'm immensely proud and honored that my work gets the recognition in this way. Starting a new career later in life, especially on a well-established industry in a different country, is not a very easy task. So thank you, Klaus Fugger, for giving us the opportunity to shine. Thank you. Finally, I want to wish all the shortlisted really good luck.